What's good, everyone? We made it. Welcome to the final regular season video for 2026. We had our final round 24 score of 2,324, which was in the top 14% and personally surprised me. I think we had almost 300 more than last week with only, I'm thinking, like 17 players on field. We'll go and have a look, but really surprising me. But unfortunately, we did drop further, down another 245, which puts us down at the finish the season at 4,154. Definitely under what I wanted to finish the season off with, but considering everything that happened in the season, lots of learning moments, lots of tough situations to go through, and I know a lot of people are in the same boat as myself. I'm really surprised that I dropped this much with a round score of that high, although there were a few big scores, and my one regret I will go into as well. But let's go in the last final classic regular season review for each individual player, and I kind of want to go in depth of how the pick was for myself this year, as this is going to be a longer video going in depth of each individual player and what they provided to me this year, and my regrets and my praises for this year. So to start off with, Lachie Whitfield, 88. He is your just most consistent. He's always providing for you. 88 this week is fine. It's nothing to, it's not disaster land. And yeah, Lachie Whitfield's the type of bloke you're probably going to start off with next year because you have that consistency with him every single week. Lachie Ash is sort of in that same boat. He has technically averaged more than Whitfield, which is crazy to me because I feel like Whitfield has consistently been a little bit better than Ash throughout the year, but the numbers don't lie. So Ash is really in that same boat where if he has that halfback role down on lock down back, you're locked in with Lachie Ash for 100 at least. So really happy with that. Mills, I don't have a lot to say about Mills. I brought him in really late. He has been okay for myself. This most recent score of 115, I think, was propelled a lot by Blakey and your Swans mishaps not being on the side. He's been a really good leader for the Sydney, for Sydney in general throughout the whole situation. And I think that really was provided with his score. I've just lost my light. Bear with me. I'm just going to replace this one quickly. All right, we're back. As I was saying, yeah, Mills, he's been a great leader for the team throughout this saga that they're going through. But yeah, 115 is a great ending score for what I brought him in for. Having easier matchups, bring me some consistent scores. We didn't have a lot of options down back due to injuries and such. Josh Worrell, he's been not a great pick, to be honest with myself. He's been fine, but he's not really brought me the flowers, if we're going to be honest. He's probably not going to be a pick for next year unless we get some bigger sample size throughout the year. I think that the Crows have too many facilitators down back with your Millerers and your Worrells and your Lairds. There's just a lot of blokes to share the ball around, and there's nothing consistent coming from them. So an 84 this round is actually higher than what he had recently, so I'm happy with that. Dan Houston, on my never again list. I will not go with Dan Houston ever again. Hey, there is rumors that he will potentially be looking for going to a different side, St Kilda, I think, trying to bring him in, which is just crazy that he's already only left to Collingwood a couple of years ago from Port, where he was exceptional. He would be a lock in my side if he was still at Port. He's just, yeah, not demanding of the ball. Collingwood don't want to share it with him. He's not as good as kick as he used to be. He's going to be on my never again list. He's not going to be in my side next year, no matter what. Hugo, he is actually a promising player. A 96 again. He's given us some bigger scores like the 96 and a perfect timing for a 96 when we had no one else to fill in the roles with all the injuries with Naz and that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And he's going to be a great player for the Crows. So not going to be a starting pick. He's not going to be in contention for next year, but he's been brilliant for us. Naz, he had a decent year for sure. He had some really high ceiling scores against some lower end teams, but he's been pretty injured a lot. Had for a few mulligan games. He's going to be in my starting side next year. He's just the type of player that you don't not want in your side. He's going to kill you if you don't have him in your side. So he's been good as usual. Anad, he's just a moneymaker for us. Nothing really to say about that. He made a lot of money, to be honest, towards the back end of the season. And if I managed my trades a little bit better or didn't have as much trades that I had to do due to injury and whatnot, I probably would have moved him on and he would have been a great moneymaker for myself. Matty Rao has actually been, low-key, one of my best picks for the year when I brought him in for that price point. He is now technically the most expensive midfielder I have in my team. The back end of the year that he had was absolutely brilliant. We picked him up near this buy here, and he had a coming out score of 74 and nothing special. But towards the back end of the year, provided excellent coverage, was super consistent with a 142, 92, but a 118, 174 massive score, and a 118 again. So I'm really happy with his performance in the back end of the year, and I'm not going to be a lock to start him next year, but what he's shown to me this year is that he can, in a team full of midfielders, still score consistently with his 1%ers and his tackles and his pressure. So I think he's always going to be an option next year coming as well. Nick Dacos, there's not a lot to say about Nick Dacos. He had a lot of rested time on the bench for the final quarter once it was all over, I think, if I recall okay, because the game was pretty much over. So Dacos, you're just going to bring him in your team every year. If you did not have Dacos in your team sometime this year, I think you probably are not in the top 50,000, to be honest. So Nick Dacos is a lock in my team next year. Bailey Smith, 171. He is also pretty much a lock, I think, in my personal opinion. He's just a accumulator of the ball, a magnet. Really depends on the offseason and what happens with Geelong. If Geelong get Butters, potentially it is not as much of an option and you're trying to go error on Butters. It really is a watch for me, but I think he's potentially a lock if nothing changes at Geelong. Bont, also a lock. He's had a lower end year compared to years prior. Ending the season at 515k is just licking your lips. I think moving into next year, that's a excellent score or excellent price for Bont. He's consistently pretty much good. He has the odd occasional 60, 70 where was he game, but that price, you cannot complain about Bontempelli going into 2027. Merritt really is a watch as well. He's always been my consistent 100 man, and I've always loved him in my side for that reason. But I don't know what's going to happen in this offseason. I know the news has come out that he's already requested to move again. So it really is going to be a watch and what happens there, where he goes. I think best case scenario would be going to Hawthorn, in my personal opinion. I would be jumping on him. If he was at Hawthorn, I'm jumping on him for next year, no matter what. But yeah, definitely a watch for sure. Luke Davies-Uniacke, he was a decent pickup for the year. He wasn't great. He wasn't lighting the world on fire. He had a ceiling score thereabouts with a 146 and a 156, but he's given you these scores of like 64, 73, 58. Like it's an up and down like roller coaster with LDU, and I don't think he's going to be in my team next year unless things change. Clary was great this year. Fell off towards the back end of the year with his score ending in 450,000. To be honest, that's a decent score moving into next year with the value he's provided. The back end of the year has been a little bit lower in the end, but consistently throughout the year, he's been that sort of Matt Rao type that accumulates and has that pressure. So he has the tackle numbers. He has a lot of hand passes, of course, naturally in that role, but something to keep an eye on. Ison, I did not. I put him on field because we had no one else available. Heaney, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him whatsoever. An absolute idiot. Let's just say that. We'll keep an eye on that, but I'm not going to be going on Heaney next year, no matter what the circumstances, just because of the type of person he is. From what I've found out, I just don't want him in my team. So that's that. I'm going to leave that there. Horn Francis is, if he gets the forward status next year, is going to be a pick for the forward line. He was one of my most consistent performers for the year. Back end of the year, had a brilliant run home. I think halfway through the season, he really put put in the gear. We got a few bigger scores here with the 147, 119, but then you got these lower end scores 3 in a row, which got me worried. But then he put in the gear, and look at these massive scores consistently. 91 there, and he ended off the season a little bit lower end, but he's going to be in my side no matter what next year. He's just the quality of player you want. Maxi gone. Maxi gone. What do I say about Maxi gone? The best ruck of all time, dare I say? No, I don't dare say it. He is the best ruck of all time, and he will be in my side next year, no matter what. He's just consistently the best Supercoach performer every single season. Bar who, I'm not sure who consistently is averaging. I mean, Shizu 120 is crazy, but no one's even close to averaging the same amount as Gorney. He's just the ultimate GOAT of Supercoach. Best captain for Melbourne ever, in my opinion. He's just, yeah, he's going to be my side next year. And he ended off the season with a 171. We knew it was going to be big against the Bulldogs with no captain. And potentially, I do have the finals campaign that is loading. I've got a inside secret that I potentially want to go with you, not involving Gorn, which I will kind of allude to in the back end of the video. But 171, what an ending. Had it as my vice because I wanted to put it on the captain because I knew it was going to bring me something big, but I just wanted to test the waters and see potentially if something goes wrong that I have that backup option. But a 171, you take that. And that's what allowed my score to be as high as it was. But he's in my side next year no matter what. Dogger, he's also been an absolutely brilliant pick. I don't know what his average has been compared to other rucks in the grasp of your Grundys and your Camerons and your Jerrys. Jerry is definitely going to be a watch for myself on the off season, see how he goes. He's had a really odd year. Had that suspension for wiping blood. It's just an odd year for Jerry. But Jackson, I probably will. It's going to be a watch. It's going to be potentially a Gorn and Jerry or Gorn or Jackson setup for myself. But I will be looking at that for sure. Forwards, Brad Hill, I don't think is a pick next year. He's been great in the back end of the season, filling in for Sinclair and Naz. But I think with him just making it to his 300th, he's looking to go back into the wing when those fellas come back. So he's been a great pick for the end of the year. Had his best game ever in his 300th, in my personal opinion. So brilliant pick for myself in the back end of the year. But for continuing on to next year, probably not. Took Miller, also a massive game, had full reign in the midfield. Petrarca not even involved in that. 163. He's also a roller coaster. I used to have him as kind of that merit type where he would average me that 100. He's definitely not been that this year. He's had really low end scores. He's 67, 75, and 76 in a row. It's just something you do not want at all. I probably will not be going there again. He's kind of on my sort of never again list, but I'm not just there yet because anything can happen with Took Miller. He's been a consistent deployer for the whole entire season. So we'll keep an eye, but I don't think I'm going to go there again. Cosy Pickett, I will go there again. He is volatile. He is that small forward type. He is getting a lot of midfield time now. So now that he's got that midfield role on lock, I'm looking to jump on Cosy and ride Cosy. Pause. I'm looking to, take Cosy to next year as well. So, 96 end of the year is fine. And averaging that around there, depending on the forward options next year, could be an option. Durham, really depends on the role. Kind of was a back-end pick, but nothing to really read into. His role got changed up very, very shortly. It really depends on the Essendon coach and some early preseason data to see how Durham and what role he's going to play. But at that price point, I don't think anyone's going to really risk it moving into next year. Petrarca, the big story for myself during the year, how I ran out of trades and couldn't move Petrarca on. Came out the gates absolutely booming, just bang with a 152. And if you didn't have Petrarca, you were a sorry soul. These bigger scores, a 136, we had a 111, a 118 moving into the bye, and then it fell off. And we had a 117 in there somewhere, but these low-end scores, most recently being a 34, is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what they're going to do with Petrarca in the off-season. Whatever role he's playing is not his role. I'm just probably not going to risk going into that one next year, depending on the preseason data, of course. And Conor McKenna had the game of his life and provided me a 90 in the last game of the round. I'm just so happy with that. He, out of nowhere, he's giving me 30, 30, 40, 30, and out of nowhere gives me a 90 and has one of the best games ever. Looked like prime Dusty Martin out there with his goals. But yeah, of course, he's just going to be that dude that fills a role for myself. Shizel out late. He's a lock. If you don't have Shields on your side moving into next year, just quit the game. And another thing being the fact that Shizel is not in the All-Australian 46 is absolutely absurd to me. I just don't understand whatsoever. But whatever, we move on. And then Banfield I had in my flex because just a chance that he was listed as emergency. Yeah, did fill in the role. I had him there. He's not going to be in my team next year, I don't think. But that's the team. Tell me what you think. Tell me your opinions in the comments of how your season went. Did it go well? Did it go poor? Personally, for myself, it has been one of the toughest years that I have experienced in a long time. I think that it potentially might be my highest league score so far in my short Supercoach career. But ironically, my league matchups were lost this year as well, which is funny, but yeah, it's how it goes. It was definitely a volatile, very lucky round this round. If you had players playing, well done. I'm not sure how you got in that position. I'm not sure if you had trades left with the last round to go. What were you doing with your trades during the year? Did you get lucky? I would like to know some opinions about how the year went. But as it's been a great year, I've had so much fun making these videos, doing the thumbnails, doing the title ideas, having fun with the puns. It was just a brilliant experience, as it is every single year. And I'm learning every single year. Feedback from people, just doing a little bit of research here and there. It's a great hobby I have, and the Supercoach community is really pretty kind, and yeah, that it's learning in a way. So I'm super thankful of the support I've had from yourselves during the year. If you have viewed it, if you have liked, if you left comments, yeah, I'm super happy for it. That ends our campaign for the classic for the Supercoach 2026 year, and that's that. Doesn't mean it's going to be the end of content though, because we are moving to finals, and I'll give you a sneak peek of what we've got here. This is our finals team right now. As you can see, Darcy Cameron in the ruck, depending on if English comes back. That's your sneak peek. I'm going to be doing a video later on the week around that Thursday, I think. Potentially Wednesday or Thursday, of my finals team, what that's going to look like. It's a really different setup to Classic, and I'll kind of explain the rules. But yeah, look forward to that one on Wednesday, Thursday. It's not stopping. I'm continuing on. But that's the end for Classic. So I hope you all enjoyed that. It'll be good to not stress about this for a while until next year. But I'm looking to come into next year even stronger with more value and more knowledge about how to plan my year out, how to manage my trades. It's been a learning year for a lot of us. So yeah, it's been fun as well. But thanks everyone for showing your support and hanging out during the year. And I'll hope to catch you later on in the week for our first finals matchup for the whole entire 2026 season. Starting again, pretty much. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and peace out, y'all.